With Father's Day approaching on Sunday the 16th of June, we're here today in Greenwich to ask local people if they think that fathers are valued in today's society, and if not, why not, and are fathers supported by law and by society? How important are fathers in today's society?
I believe fathers are probably very important in today's society. You know, everything, I believe strongly in equal rights for everybody, because everybody deserves a fair chance in creating something. There are too many people on this planet as there is, so we should all be given the biggest shot of actually making something of it.
I think very important. I think fathers tend to be more focused on education and career, and so for children I think it's very important that they get a strong role model for education and career.
Do you think that fathers have equal parental rights in the eyes of the law?
In the eyes of the law, I believe it depends on each individual case. Obviously there are some fathers that I think it should actually, even though it's probably unfeasible and unrealistic, it should be down to an individual basis, because obviously some fathers have issues outside of their parenting, but I believe everyone deserves a fair chance in getting something. I think it's unfair to discriminate against them because they're male. I think that's completely wrong. Like back in the day, for example, from what I remember from my childhood, it used to be, from my experience as a child, it was you break up, mum gets everything that the father has, the father's left with nothing, and the mother has everything because it's deemed that they're the mother, so therefore they should have everything that that person had even though they've left them. I don't think that's fair or right, so I think it should be equal.
I think this is just a sort of strange quirk of history that suggests that children need their mothers more than fathers. I don't think it's really anything to do with anything other than a misinterpretation or an incorrect law. I think both parents should be equal.
Recently, with the cuts to legal aid, could this make things more difficult for single fathers, parents, seeing their children?
Yes, most definitely it's going to. At the same time of being fair, it has to be, to look after a child and to raise them properly. I mean, at the end of the day, to create a child, you have to do that knowing what you're about to take on. If you can't afford to look after a child and respect their upbringing to be as good, if not better, which it should be, than what they had, then you shouldn't be creating something as beautiful as another human being. So it has to be fair, and if the father's not fit to actually do that, then no, they shouldn't really have the aid. But at the same time, if they can be proven to be a good parent and care and what they're doing is right, then definitely they should have that. If they can't be shown to be doing a good job, they don't have a good job, or if they've either got a drug or alcohol problem, for example, then I don't think they really should. It should be monitored. But if they are proven to be making a clear effort into progressing themselves into becoming better people, then they should definitely be involved in their children's lives. There's no reason on earth why a parent should be denied access to their children in any way, shape or form. It's obviously at a young age, your children don't really have the sort of mental understanding of how the system works until they become of age, but that's solely down to them when they're old enough. I mean, it's a very hard subject to really sort of comprehend for a lot of people. I had to deal with it when I was 8 and 13. I've had 2 stepfathers, and luckily I've been blessed with an amazing one now, but my dad is my best friend, and we get on better than anything else. So it's a very hard subject, but I believe that aid should definitely be given, for sure. No two ways about it, because that way a fair trial can be given, and that's the only way true justice is going to be served. It's the fact of the courts need to have their balance equal to male and female, because at the end of the day, what is it? It's just sexism. It's the way that I see it. It's almost a flip side that feminists back in the day kicked off, and now it's like, well, okay, you've got your rights, but males have been left with nothing, and it's like that's not fair.
So do you think there is a need for a father's rights kind of group?
Definitely, 100%. But I don't want to see it go that, because of the father's rights thing, they've now been given instant granted access. It should just be equal and even and fair, and that's why we live in a democracy, so everyone can vote on it. So So I think that might be even the better way to go about it, is by actually having a public vote on it and seeing what the public really want.
Well, I think if you start with the principle that both parents are equal, then any issue with regards to legal aid is largely irrelevant, because it's equal for both parties. If one can afford to have a decent lawyer or solicitor, then the other one should be able to. I think the route forward is through free mediation, and for the government to provide free mediation services to ensure that fathers get equal access.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. This Sunday is Father's Day. Will you be seeing your father or stepfather? Will you be doing anything special?
Unfortunately, no. My father lives in Ireland. My stepfather lives in Devon. I'm a chef, so the chance of me getting a weekend off are second to none. But there is a card in the post to Ireland, and I will be making a phone call. And there's also a card in the post to my stepfather. But I will be making FaceTime phone calls to both of them.
You can always bake a cake and send it through the post.
Well, I could do, but I doubt they'll get there in one piece.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us.
No problem. Thank you.
The vast majority of people seem to believe that fathers are not supported enough and they are not given the equal rights in the eyes of the law. We want to investigate this further, and that is why we will bring you a further documentary, and we will go to the courts and we will find out exactly what is going on and why fathers are not getting enough support regarding having equal access to their children. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you have a fantastic Father's Day, and we want to hear from you. That's the most important thing. This is not about our opinions. We want to hear what you think about this. Are fathers important in today's society in Britain? Please do leave us a comment below. Thank you very much for joining us today.